got it. Okay, I had to rely. Okay, we had a miscommunication there. Good morning, Siren Squad. IG, I have some big news to tell you.
What?
It's July.
That's correct. It is July.
Do you know what happens in July?
Second coming of Christ.
Wait a minute. I haven't read Revelations yet.
No, I'm just messing with you. It's your birthday month.
It is my birthday month. You're right. It is my birthday month. And, oh, he's so mad. I didn't bring home crypto. The toys were on sale.
You didn't bring one home? Crypto?
No, I brought home crypto. I didn't bring. Oh my God, I do this all the time. I notice this in my stream all the time. I say half my thought. It goes through my brain so fast, I can only say half of it. Like, it's already done and go over with in my mind. But I didn't bring him home a toy. Yeah, I do. My brain moves faster than my mouth, and that is saying something because I have had to learn to slow down so I don't have obscene amounts of editing and creating captions for videos I create. Because it turns out we have hit over 10,000 views over on YouTube. And apparently, guys, I have to say this because this goes right up onto YouTube. So, and if you're watching me on Twitch, that's great too. But please subscribe. Subscribing helps. Subscribing is the best way you can support my endeavors to rebuild my life. Because honestly, it's not about the monetization nearly as much as it is about finding people who can stand me. All right, moving along. I wanted to say thank you all for tuning in and watching over on YouTube. That's freaking awesome. I can't even believe it. We've hit, the channel has only actually really been 10 days in production. We've hit 10,000 views and we have almost 40 hours watch time. So, thank you to all of you that are spending the time actually watching the videos and everything. And I know I'm all over the place all the time and you never know what you're going to get, but hopefully you'll find something that you enjoy, which brings me up to my next topic, because I made a list last night before I went to bed because I was going to be organized for this morning's podcast because I got a lot to do today.
Holy moly, all right.
It's looking as though we'll have to see how it goes because I haven't heard back from the sandwich shop yet. Okay, but I had to add, I have 2 dates that when I get a job, I have 2 time periods of dates where I need to tell them I cannot work. And new one.
Okay, you have 2. Okay, what's the new one?
July 13th, Union Underground is coming to our city. And I am super excited to be taking Logan. So, yay. I haven't gone to a concert since my trauma. And I am reclaiming every aspect of my life. There will be nothing that, if it's something that might trigger me, I'm going to go and conquer it. And I actually really like Union Underground. So I'm super excited that we're going to make that happen. Although based on where it's located, I will most likely be taking an Uber at the very least from one of those. I don't see Daisy going down to that concert at night. She doesn't want to because, she doesn't have the right clothes for the occasion, okay? Yeah, she doesn't. Which brings me to the next thing. So I installed some lighting on Daisy last night. I'm getting a feel for it. I'm really excited about it. We're going to try to do, last night was really cloudy. And we had that, Barry was kind of, the corner, I think is what it was yesterday. But we were actually supposed to have rain every single day this week. Not today. It's going to be all sunny. And I got myself a new wire snip since the ocean ate my last one. Crypto. Since the ocean, the ocean didn't actually eat it. It just rusted it to hell. Stop it! Logan! Oh my God, Crypto is so mad that he didn't get a toy.
You fucked up.
Well, all they had is the one he's already got. Can you find him his baby? Because he can't, he's flipping out. I don't know. He has that little dog one. That's the only one they had for sale, which is why he didn't get one. And now he's just he thinks he's going to take over Gunner. Oh my God.
What?
So after that, I said there were 2 dates, right? 2 dates. So, the dogs are just fucking distracting the hell out of me because I was talking about lighting Daisy up and the fact that she is going to have to get a bikini. Not even lying. We're going to get her a bikini top. I'm so excited. She'll never have to put that, stuffy old roof back on. We can just, use the bikini top. Now we can get a bottom and a top bikini top. So either, the other kids that have to get hit by all the wind in the back of the Jeep are gonna also get hit by rain if it rains, and only those in the front seat will be covered, which is a possibility. Or we'll get the one that goes over both, but we'll see. But either way, yeah, she's getting new toys. I had bought the lighting for her before she took all my money. So I installed it, but we made lists because in the event that everything works out and I get this job, we got plans. Because the other thing is, we will be possibly leaving, and you got to check me because we might have to leave earlier because I don't know when the VCTs happen. But if this all goes the way I think it could, there's a really highly likelihood that I am going to be able to kill a dog. Ugh. These dogs this morning. But be able to swing our trip to go meet a friend out in California.
Let's go.
During the VCTs.
Let's go again.
So we might actually get to go watch the mother truckin' VCTs. Can you believe that shit? Life is coming together
really.
for us. I know, I'm a little bit like, I don't know, but on the real, if I'm gonna be honest, it's looking pretty damn good. I mean, it's a short month, but yeah, it's looking pretty good. So we're gaming, and we're gonna go watch other people game, and it's gonna be awesome. Of course, guys, whatever I am talking about. Get to. I'm sorry, my dogs have lost their damn mind. Maybe I lied about everything and we're going to save all our money and just buy a kennel. Anyhow. So what else do I have on my list here? Wow, I don't know what I was writing about that. I made some... It says Gunner is too big for his britches.
Oh. Yeah. That's not very specific.
No, not really. And it's got an exclamation point. It was something that I felt very strongly last night before I went to bed, apparently, and no longer remember what it was. Imagine. Imagine. So, all right. So, what else was I going to talk about? I mean, I'm waiting to hear back from the surf shop. I can't wait. Please hire me. I am just super excited. I guess I stayed up kind of late going over all of the analytics over on YouTube and everything, and I'm just like so impressed because I know that sometimes our topics are really heavy. I know that sometimes they're just fun and stupid, and sometimes they're like just in a niche that nobody cares about, such as, like VCTs. I don't even think a lot of my viewers would know. For those of you that don't know what the VCTs are, Valorant, IG. What is Valorant? Tell chat, because you'll do so much better, and I'd hate to compare it to Silent Hill.
I hate to compare it to Silent Hill. Yeah, Valorant is a 5v5 tactical shooter, along with games like CSGO is the best comparison for it, except it has abilities, which is what makes it unique, and it's made by Riot Games. And if you don't know who Riot Games are, they're the people who make League of Legends, the game that literally kills people's souls.
Well, that took a dark turn. Haven't I already had my soul killed enough?
That's what happens. That's what happens when you play League of Legends.
Hey, if we go to VCTs, do we get a special gun buddy?
I don't know if we get a special gun buddy, but there's going to be a whole merch pop-up that we can go and buy special Riot merch at the fucking venue. Like, the cute little wingman.
Okay, you do know we're... well, we're broke, right? Like, if I manage to swing a trip to California for the VCTs, the likelihood of us, not having to sleep in a vehicle or be able to buy merch are, kind of small. No, but the cool thing is that I've never been to California. It's one of my life dreams. And my ex-husband would go driving to California. He did jobs out in California, and he told me he'd never take me to California and New York. California and New York are the two places that I just would really want to go and just see. Not talking about living or staying. I'm just talking about seeing. I really want to see it. It's different. They're different settings. They're different ways of life. I would love to go see Broadway, and I would love to go see those trolleys that they ride in Full House.
Bruh.
The trolleys that they ride in Full House is in California, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Do you remember Gecko's trailer? I'm gonna be like, you remember Gecko's trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's California.
Oh, he's in Los Angeles.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Is that where are the VCTs even at? Los Angeles?
No. Yeah, I don't know.
We're going to have to look.
They're 30 minutes away from Hollywood is where we'd be.
Oh my God. Okay, we got to figure out dates. We got to figure out dates because I believe it is Santa Barbara that we're going to. That's where we're meeting up with our friend. So, wow. Okay. All right. So we're going to have to kind of stay for the rest of this month. I would like to see, do you know that here in our city that you can go on 4th of July in glass bottom LED kayaks to go watch?
Oh my God, that's kind of sick.
Yeah, glass bottom LED kayaks. And you can take them out into the bay to be on the water under the fireworks. So that'll probably be a next year. Yeah, it's really cool. Also, because we're all about living life and new experiences, and the kids are only with me for the summer. They will be moving out no later than Christmas, but most likely are moving out the 1st of September. So I thought about it, and we have to get it figured out, and we got to find out what we can do. But I believe in the next week or two, BK and I will be taking a helicopter ride over the beach, and we will be posting the footage. I'll get it for you to do what you want to do with it, but then I will get it so that I can share it to YouTube and everything too. So we're gaming now, guys. We're gaming. We still have the duck campaign, which it's not popping up on. I haven't noticed it on chat with a timer, so I don't know if we have that set right. But
it's a timer, but you have to have a certain amount of people chatting for it.
Perfect.
So it's not just filling it up for no reason.
Okay, perfect. Well, I know that I think I updated YouTube so that all the links are in the description. I'm going to go through today and put together a whole bunch more. The thumbnails on YouTube are going to be different for each month, but then stay the same so that I can kind of separate where the podcasts are at. What else is there? Yeah. I mean, I guess this is all tentative. This is all tentative right now, guys. Like, this is what we're working on. But if things keep going the way that they are, I mean, it's funny because I learned how to do all this like content creation stuff so that I could support IG in his endeavors. And now it's coming all the way back around. And even though this is the best my channels have ever performed, I get just as many views right now. Like my highest views on a regular video, we've hit 2,000 views on one of the shorts, but one of my highest views on average is like 22, which is honestly what I was bringing in on Animal Crossing when I had 320 subscribers. So whatever's going on over there, I'm going to go through and I noticed chaptering the streams by subject is huge. So I'll be doing that today. I'm probably gonna send the kids up to do some laundry today. But we're gonna work on getting it together. But there's nothing I would like more than to also like turn. I mean, I'm not saying that I started Andro's Bar and everything so that I could make money as a content creator, because I've been trying to do that for 5 years and that's a joke. I'm sorry, IG. I mean, I know you do a lot of different stuff than I do. I can't sit and do what you do. But what I can do is, my whole point in this is trying to find people that are like that share my interests, share my, just willing to hear what I have to say, have a discussion. I mean, I want discussions going on. I want to talk to people, everybody lives a certain walk of life. And, my whole goal in all of this is, and my horoscope, oh, did I send that to you last night? My horoscope for today is like all talking about how, July is my best month to be in the shining spotlight, and how my voice can do so much inspiration and motivation for other people. Now, I'm not always positive anymore, so sometimes I have my bad days, but you're gonna get the real me over here either way. You're gonna get me when I'm pissed off and I'm mad. You know, I'm gonna tell you how I'm gonna let it all out. I'm just gonna be natural, 100% real, raw, and uncensored. And so on that topic, while we're talking about it, I kind of had a cycle going on with me. And I don't want to get into it like too deep just because, I mean, chat on the rail. Well, I just said I was going to be real, raw, and uncensored. During my trauma phase, right before trauma hit, I was told that I am in premenopause. So that can make women crazy from what I understand. And so I was already struggling with like things that, you know, well, not already. As soon as that happened, that was my last doctor's visit. And then literally our life blew up within like 30 days, I think. So like I had already gotten that news and you know, things like you're going to be more emotional and unable to regulate and da-da-da-da-da. And actually, Xavier's mom used to tell me that it's the worst thing that like you could go through. It can really like just, she actually made me afraid of it because I used to spend a lot of time talking to her and she actually made me afraid of it. So far, the only thing I will say that I can tend to notice is that like I go through these like where I'll get way more emotional. So when I'm not dealing with my shit, that's why I freak out. And we talked about it where I end up missing Xavier more than I think I should. Or, you know, I get a different mindset where I think that, you know, I'm not like I start to question things or I get too invested in my thoughts and my sleep gets disturbed and, you know, whatever. So at least this is how it was going. I have news for you. It's not going the same way. I think we finally broke it because I'm right about due to freak out on him and, I have no intention of doing so. Like, I mean, not that I've intended to before. I usually just lose my cool, but I'm not chasing that anymore. Like I wanted so badly because, and this is all going to come out in Siren Stories, but like, you know, I mean, we had been such a family and I'm so upset with my own choices in it. And then like the fact that I'd be willing to own all my shit and it was all just a game to him and like no apologies, no ownership, no communication, just done. Just fucking got what he needed, got what he wanted, and fucking it's over. So that's what narcissists be like. And so I have really been working hard and I think that I have finally gotten to a point where, don't get me wrong, I still have like, you know, I wish he was real moments where because I'm starting to realize that whatever I thought was going on was not real. It was a game. I had a game ran on me. I can't believe that he's that good at that. You know, but I mean, there's nobody that can claim to care so much about somebody and then just like do what they, it's just, and narcissists don't have empathy. They just have needs that they need met. And we found out I'm disqualified anyway, because I'm not controllable. Mm-hmm. Nobody's ever been able to tame me. So, I mean, it might work for a little while for you, but it doesn't last. Because I turn around and funny story. So I was talking last night on the phone with your dad, and I wanted to let him know that I was going to go to this concert. And you know how he reacted when I wanted to go to that concert in Nashville, because I used to go to concerts with Xavier. So he was like, doesn't believe that I'll go by myself and whatever. And I told him that I want to take, LP and that I want to go. And he was real, real quiet. And I said, here's the deal. The way that we are working, I said, I know this causes you insecurities. I know this causes you problems and you don't like to hear this right now. And I know you think I'm doing other things. And I understand all of that. That is valid and whatever. But here's the deal. In the past, I would have chosen to not do those things because of how it may illy affect you. And that is not how I'm living my life in. So, tough shit. I'm going to go. I'm doing my best job to be healthy and tell you, here's what I'm planning to do. And here's, and I'm not doing what you're going to assume I'm doing. Okay. And I was like, so, but this is me. And even though we're kind of in this like area where we're trying to like kind of figure out what kind of relationship, we've been together 24 years. I would definitely say that right now we're kind of like, we're way more friend zone-ish, like with everything. And I think it's going to be that way for a while at the very least. I don't know what'll happen. I don't know. I mean, if I do end up rebuilding my marriage, that would just take a whole lot of patience and work that I'm not sure he's going to be willing to wait around for. And that's okay with me. I'm also not sure that he can handle me being myself, because I learned how to stifle my emotions and have such emotional control. Like, I kept things to myself that might, make him have too much to deal with. And I can't do that going forward, because all those things are what added up over the years that literally led to me just, when I did, I snapped, because it's just, enough is enough. And it had nothing to do with anybody's actions. But if my mentality were to ever falter again, I'm certainly not going to leave everything all cooped up in a box in the back of my fucking head. I'm done. Like, I got to let shit out. And so, and he has a hard time. Chad, if you haven't known and you haven't caught up or you didn't hear this, but we have a special needs family, and my ex-husband has aspergers. And so emotional regulation is already not his strong suit. And then we come to find out that he's actually got childhood trauma that was reinitialized thanks to everything we went through 2 years ago. He's, and then because I was screwed up and I went and broke trust in a way that neither one of us ever thought I would. Even though we were separated, that's still like, the logistics and semantics don't matter here. The actions and how they affected everybody involved is all that matters. And, I had to forgive myself and stop beating myself up, because in my trauma brain, I was making bad choices that I wouldn't usually make. And so it's taken me now all this time. It's almost been a year of me trying to forgive myself for the mistakes I've made. And I can't do anything about it. I can't go back. I can't change it. I want to be like, I was sick. It was like it's almost like I had a cancer in my brain, which is true. But it doesn't make my actions okay or justifiable, or that anybody should just forgive me, because actions have consequences, no matter what your reasoning behind them are. And I have to own my shit. And so I have to own the fact that I may have broken a trust, and I told him it's going to take time, but I may have broken a trust between he and I where we may only be able to interact superficially overall. But all I do know is I was very clear to him, and it's the first time I ever have been. And I said, this is what I'm doing. Here's why I'm doing it. I am not going to go through my life where this last bit of trauma that I've been exposed to, because I'm telling you, I don't think anything has fucked me up more than Xavier. By the way, chat, we changed names because Siren Stories is being written. And so I'm just going with Siren Stories names because I want to protect people's, I want to protect people's privacy. But no, I never want to find myself in a position where I'm susceptible to that again. And so how do you know if you're, how do you know if you're free of that trauma? Well, I wouldn't recommend this until you're really damn ready, but basically trying to trigger yourself. Now, we've already gone out to a restaurant that Xavier and I frequented. We did that after we moved down here, and I was okay. But if I go into any of these situations and I end up experiencing some sort of physical reaction, then I know I'm triggered and my trauma's not gone, and I got to find the source of it before it creeps up on me down the road 10 years, because I don't want that shit either. And so I'm really excited, though, so it's funny, because on the way back home from the store this morning, LP, Union Underground, came on because it's on my playlist. And I was like, hey, this is what I'm talking about. We're going to go see them. And whatever. But I'm not having the flashbacks anymore. I'm not having, I'm not getting that. I don't know how to describe it. Maybe if anybody else has experienced trauma, they can help me with how they would choose to describe it. But the people say triggered and they think it's all ragey. No. This is a thing that goes through your soul down to your toes. There's a physical reaction. You're either going to get sick to your stomach. You might get dizzy. Your vision may blur. You might have a flashback, but your whole body physically reacts to something that reminds you of a traumatic event. And I don't have that anymore with him. It's crazy. Like, I even went, because I went to listen to, what is it? It's called Wisdom, Falling Leaves, something like that. But that song that I listened to last night, I just turned it on and I was really worried about how I was going to feel when I listened to it. Nothing. Mm-hmm. It was nothing.
Damn.
And so that we're gaming. That's how we know we really move past something. So here's my best suggestion to everybody is that if you're ignoring things, don't. Okay. First of all, I do know that, what the hell? It's dropped frames 117. I don't even know what happened. But anyways, I know that when we have experienced something, we want to try to avoid those triggers. And sometimes you need to, like it all depends. Only you will know. Don't push yourself too hard. Because your brain trauma is protecting your brain from dealing with things that you feel like you're not capable of handling. And so, that's why it erased so much when I snapped into reality. I felt like at first, like for the first few days after like I had that like breakthrough, it was like my whole time with Xavier had been erased out of my mind, but then they started flooding back and the memories started flooding back and the way that it affects me. And all I know is that I could have just continually kept trying to avoid the stimuli that would like trigger me. And for a while I did, I had to. But as I get better, I kind of test myself and I do a little bit more and I do a little bit more. I do a little bit more. And the only way I know I'm going to feel safe is if I can go through life without getting hit out of left field by bam, here's a memory that's going to make you feel like trash, or sad or, as incredibly hurt as he, because I mean, you know what I think is really funny about him is that, all those times he sat there and he was so upset with during our friendship, how your dad had treated me. I mean, nothing compares to the disrespect and the just like, it's literal devaluation that he has put me through. And I was thinking about it the other day because I was like, I wonder if he'd ever reach out to me again. No, because he'll never have the balls. He will never have the balls to turn around and be like, I fucked up. He'll be too scared of my reaction because he has to keep a certain persona. And so that's one thing that's been like all up, like it makes me nervous and not only that, but now I've shown that I am somebody that you don't want to fuck with. Because what he thought I would never do, he's pushed me beyond. But the thing is that like recovery's not pretty, guys. Like I am not proud of all my actions and I am very well aware of the person I am capable of being. What I also know though is that, as I heal and I get better, like so many people expect me to be like angry or like PK's mom thinks that I'm just going to sit and shit talk her for life and just hate her and make her son hate her. And it's like, I'm not that person. And I think Xavier thinks I'm going to be a psycho forever. I scared him. I mean, imagine scaring a narcissist. How frightening must I be? But don't push a girl in the wrong fucking way. That's what I got to say about that. But no, I thought about it and I was like, all this time I thought, well, one day he's going to, no, he's not. He doesn't care. He doesn't fucking think anything he did was wrong. He has already clearly victimized himself based on what I've heard from his wife to the point where I am just this, like, I mean, I can't remember. There's some fucking book out there that my grandma used to tell me about. It's called The Scarlet Letter. And I am the devil to him. And so, you know what? Like, I don't even have to worry about it anymore. I'm not even stressing. Because either way, I do not believe, even if I, like we've talked about how, like, if he's not a narcissist, it's because they're, like, just the environment and the way he's learned to behave and whatever, between whether it's his wife or his mom or whatever. But we've already talked about that. But here's the deal that I fucking realized is, in the end, he has a certain level of self-loathing that goes on. And it's pretty typical with covert narcissists. But the self-loathing, like, I don't think, I mean, what is he going to do? Tell me the truth? Like, I mean, after all the time he spent lying and creating these stories, I mean, this is what I used to think about my dad. I was like, how did my dad, this is why I worked so hard to not let my childhood trauma go on, like, and I wanted to get better, is because watching my father in relationships was a nightmare. My father, like, I mean, literally down to, I think it would have been wife 4 or 5 that I'm sitting there across the table, and my little sister, who is from wife number 2 or 3, turns around wife number 3, turns around and is like, goes, so dad, how many times have you been married? And my dad outrightedly just looks right at her. It says, just your mom and your sister's mom. And I looked at him like, are you fucking kidding me? And he winks at me like, keep your mouth shut, across the table, because I had just reconnected with him after having a restraining order on him for 4 years. And he winks at me just like, shut your mouth, because he's sitting there with what would become his, 4th or 5th wife.
Bruh.
So,
big bruh moment.
But what I used to always think about it is one of the reasons I didn't want to lie is because how do you keep all those lies straight? How do you remember that you told this wife that you've only been married X amount of times and told that wife that you've been married X amount of times and that wife knows more about your marriages than the other ones? And how do you do that? Like, how do you live your life with constant fear that your secrets are going to get found out, which is why I hate lies and I have vowed to tell the truth. And I literally told the truth so much that it has gotten me in trouble because I will just be too oversharing, too open and honest. But in the end of the day, like watching my father, like I've watched it make him crazy. And I can't imagine the lies that Xavier has told his wife and let alone me. I don't have any idea. But once you get to a point, that's why they are able to walk away from people the way they are, because they can't balance it anymore. They can't keep their lies straight anymore. And so, I used to think that it was because he lost his job. He just didn't think he was good enough for me. And he had, other issues. But no, he had no intention. Just one day just decided he had no intention of ever seeing me again despite our 17-year friendship. There was nothing. Except for confusion and like desperation on my part to figure out what the fuck just happened, because it was like somebody flipped a switch and I went absolutely fucking batshit crazy. And now that's exactly what he wanted. Because then he could turn around and be like, I'm sorry I screwed up, to his wife, and be like, look at how batshit crazy she is. She's so fucking nuts. She won't leave me alone. Leading his wife to say things like, stop harassing. And then I turn around and get a message from her to stop harassing her family. And then he follows and subscribes to me on YouTube. I'm harassing people? Bruh. But there's only one reason why she would think that. There's only one reason why she would think that. And then one of the last things he said to me was almost a quote right out of that nasty letter that his daughter wrote me. So his daughter had been hearing it. So I can only imagine all the lies. Once you tell so many lies on 2 different sides, you can't remember who you lied to for what. The easiest thing is to cut that shit off and walk away, And so that's what they do. It's easier because why balance that? Why he's not going to be able to remember what lie he told me versus what lie he told her. Like eventually they're going to, after too much time and too much experience, that shit's going to get jumbled and then he's going to be his own demise. So, I'm sure he would have liked to have tried longer, but I just kept getting better and better. And I was calling him out on shit. And the worst thing you could do to a narcissist is be like, yo, bro, you're kind of fucked up here. And then they're like, oh, game's over. I lost. They would rather lose and then be a victim than any amount of actual emotional maturity, healing, or anything. So, I just think it's funny. I think it's funny because, and these people that have done all this shit in my life that think the way, because this is one thing I learned in this last year. People think that because they think a certain way, that everybody thinks that way. So if somebody's so upset that they are a vengeful person, they are going to think you're going to get vengeance, which is why Nightstar absolutely believes I'm going to get vengeance. Absolutely thinks I'm going to come back around. And I mean, don't worry. Don't get me wrong. In some of my processing, it's been close because there are criminal charges that could be filed on at least 3 people for what I've been through in the last 2 years. And I'm not afraid of cops anymore, which is beautiful because chat, if you didn't know this, because of my childhood trauma, my dad was friends with cops. We lived in a small town. He literally was able to get me from safe houses when social services was called and I had bruises up and down my body. Well, he was able to just convince them, well, she's just, her mom died and she's just real messed up and she's, I'm doing everything I can, play the victim. I'm the bad kid. He literally told me right before I ran away, he said, I've got this whole town wrapped around my finger that if I threw you down the stairs, they're all going to believe well. That's what he fucking said to me behind closed doors. So anyways, but I've broken those things. I don't have panic reactions to cops anymore. I'm not afraid of them anymore. I'm not afraid of, literally I mean, I think the only thing I'd be afraid of is anything happening to my children. That is the only fear I have left in the world.
Oh, a pipe bomb.
Yeah, you better be careful, especially if you have to learn how to drive and then you're going to be up in that area because that area of San Antonio, that driving is for the birds. Actually, the birds fly. Kidding.
Yeah, can I be a bird? Could I just fly everywhere I need to go?
I'm like a bird. Anyways, ever a little. No. Okay. Anyhow, I've spoken way too fast, jumped around on so many topics. We're getting started here. I've got to go and do some video editing today. We're going to hopefully, maybe, if it's going to be as nice as it looks like today, chat, I might be able to get a nice video of Daisy down on the beach with her new lighting if I can get it done. Also, like I said, you're going to want to go over and subscribe to me on YouTube so I know people are there. I mean, not that it seems like I just will talk. I mean, I don't pay much attention to the analytics overall while I'm streaming and whatever, because this is really all about me. It's just about me. You know, in life and rebuilding life. But I want to share life with people. And that's why I stayed in such bad relationships. I stayed in bad relationships because I just wanted somebody to, I get so excited and invigorated about life. And I get so like when we bought the Jeep, the lady we bought it from was like, I've never seen anybody get this excited over a vehicle. Like, it's so fun. I get that way. I'm like a little kid because I literally gave up. I mean, I was 20 years old when I had IG. And then my only job in the world was to be a mom. I have not done anything but take care of my family since he's been born. I want to go do it now. I want to go live life. I want to have experiences. I want to, you know, but now when I go and do it, I mean, yeah, it's great to have it, but who doesn't want to share their fun with other people? You know, and I've lost all my friends except for, I mean, we got Power Cane. And I'm so thankful because he's my best twisted sister. But no, seriously, Chad, I saw this thing on Facebook the other day, and Power Cane and I are not Facebook friends. We have not, we have boundaries. But anyways, I saw this thing and I was like, it was like behind every broken girl, there's a sister who will answer their calls and sit and listen to them talk about things 300 times or something. Like, it was all this shit. And I was like, so I read this thing on Facebook. I told him, I said, apparently you're my best sister. I'm really thankful for him. But at the same time, I mean, there's no recovering. It's just, friends are like pets, guys. I hate to say it like that. I mean, it sounds bad, but you know, you never replace when you lose it. No, when you lose a pet, you can never replace them. We're never gonna have another Callie. We're never gonna have another Sunny. You know, I'm never gonna have another Spike. We'll have other dogs and other pets. We're never gonna have another Nessa. That's very clear. But we'll have other pets. And it'll be different. And I guess that's how I have to look at my friendships. And I just never thought that. I mean, I thought that the ones that I lost this last year were forged for life. They were my closest people. They knew everything about me. And then they used those things that they knew about me against me to actually not support me, but unravel me. Like, there's no freaking way. Xavier saw a door and he was like, oh, finally. And then walked through it. There's no way that he was actually fully thinking about anybody other than himself. Because he had no fucking care in the world of what it would do to decimate the relationship I had with his children. He had no care in the world that my brain was in the wrong spot. He had no care in the world what it would do to his wife. And he had no care in the world that playing in my mind when it was already broken, what it could possibly do to me, and was willing to literally risk my life in order for that to happen, all while telling me how much he loved me. And so, which he didn't say often, but he said it. So, you know, he told me he didn't say it because the way he acted should tell me that. And that's the thing, is it did, like the little things, but very calculating and strategic. I just don't know. I don't think he'd ever have the balls to own his shit and get better if he can. If he's a narcissist, he can't get better. And then it's always going to be a fucking thing in my life. And all I know is that if I ever get slammed out of left field, I'm going to be able to conduct myself in the manner that I want to conduct myself. No more tooling around in Andromeda's brain. No more fucking playing with the blocks and fucking throwing a fit when they don't fucking, I mean, he rage quit our friendship.
With the block.
Playing with the block. You know? And the only way that I know that I can't control his behavior, the only way that I can know that I can handle it is to face those effects, the things that cause me the greatest pain. I have to confront them. And I don't mean him. I mean within me. I mean, I need to figure out, all right, you let him in this much? How do you keep that from happening again? You know, like I've literally spent all this time reading how to spot a covert narcissist, you know, because no matter what, I'm not a psychologist. I don't know if he has actual
music.
I have no idea if he's an actual narcissist or not. But what I do know is those behaviors and the way they affected me are on the line of that. So if he's not a narcissist, he could get better, but I don't think he has the balls. If he is a narcissist, he'll never get better. And no matter what, he's a scaredy bitch because he'd be too afraid of my reaction. He told me that once. I was like, what the fuck, you'd be afraid of me? Everybody says I can be scary. Why? Because I'm real? That's the real thing. Is that it? Is it because I would absolutely reflect the fucking realism of a situation? And when you're living in falsities and lies and you're trying to create a fantasy world that you can live in so that it fits your need, you can't have a realist in it because, you know, well, Cinderella snapped, bitches, and that's the way it is. So, I mean, I can, what did they say in that song? Something about, like, Ariel learned, like, something without any feet. I can't remember how the fuck his song goes now. But it goes on and on about all the Disney princesses. Fucking, and Beauty realizes that she is the beast. Yep, well, I did that. I know what I can be. I know who I can be. I can be pretty rough. But in the end of the day, going forward, I'm going to make damn sure I'm strong enough to, if these people ever come into contact with me or ever fucking, there will be no more pity parties. There will be no more empathy for those people. And most likely there will be nothing but ignorance. I mean, I am actually confident right now he could send me the most heartfelt most heartfelt fucking explanation and fucking say whatever he wants to me. And I would probably just ignore it. I really highly doubt it would have. I'm at that point. It's like after all this time. So the best way for me to make sure that I stay in that mindset is to make sure that I'm not going to get hit out of left field with creeping triggers. Because I can't tell you how many times I've said my fucking trauma is over. And then triggers make it not over. I am on a path right now to conquer them all. I'm not afraid anymore.
You hear that? I'm not afraid anymore.
So, the only way I can do that is to make sure that, you know, because if I end up going and like, for example, if we go to Union Underground and because it's one of the concerts I went with him to, and it was one of my favorites. But if I end up going and it ends up, I'm sure I'll get emotional. That's different than triggered. But if I end up having a triggered reaction, well, then we're going to kick up the freaking mental health crap that I need, probably get an extra freaking therapist on duty, and I'm going to get over it and I'm going to conquer it so that it can't do that shit to me. So that I can't be, my heart cannot, there is a new wall. It was shattered, it was shot, it was bleeding, it was broken. I have like taken it down and taken all that scar tissue. All right. And we went to the most vulnerable place and now we're rebuilding. And the only way for me to be able to do it successfully is to try not to let those things affect me and deal with them. And that's how they don't affect you. The only way they don't affect you is if you actually fucking deal with them. And I have needed professional help for that. And I am a big advocate for professional help. People like to look at, I've said this before, but people look at therapists and psychiatrists like doctors who can fix them. That is not what they are. They are teachers. Okay? They're going to teach you why you are thinking, feeling, and behaving the way you are based on psychology, giving you the power to make new choices or fix what might feel broken or whatever. And it's really hard when you're dealing with things like CPTSD. Oh yeah, here, I have a form of PTSD that is centered around relationships and trust of people. Let me go in and spill my guts to even a doctor. Not the easiest thing in the world to do. I know not everybody can do it, but I'm a huge advocate for this shit because I literally have had psychiatrists that I've seen where I go in and I tell them what's going on, and one conversation with them will set me on a trajectory of growth for a year. Because they're just willing to be like, you're kind of being stupid, or this is why you're doing that, so stop it. Okay. Well, thanks, buddy. Like, now I get it. You know, and so
I guess I'll just stop it then.
Well, I mean, it takes some work, but knowing where to start is all the power in the world. And sometimes that's all you need. You just need that start. And then if you get stuck along the way, you might need another little boost because maybe you're just not understanding yourself. I mean, it's very hard to look at ourselves objectively and, decide where, like, look at how many times this last year that I thought I was so fucked up. And I mean, I was, but I mean, how many ways did I think I was fucked up where it wasn't on me? And I was having a reaction to people's unhealthy, toxic behaviors and then blaming myself for reacting to those unhealthy, toxic behaviors in an unhealthy, toxic manner. And then I beat myself up knowing I was being unhealthy and toxic and I should be better because I should know better. I've been in therapy since I was 4. I should already know this. How come I'm losing control? Finding that key can be really hard on your own. So support groups and mental health professionals, I'd say good friends, but damn, I'll tell you, after this last year I've had, sometimes I think you can trust the people you pay more than you can trust the people that, you enjoy. It's sad. We live in a world where people are fulfilling and wear masks. They will do whatever they need to do if they want something bad enough. Xavier is one that told me desperate people will do desperate things. Wonder how desperate he was to, take a ride on the tilt-a-whirl. Must have been pretty desperate. But no, I think that it is really important to understand that because, when you're stuck in that darkness for so long, you really feel like you're like, why am I being this way? Well, if you find yourself asking yourself, why am I behaving in this manner, or why, or let me even take it a step further. You find yourself really being like, why are they being like that? Because how many times did I do that? Why is that happening? What is that behavior? This is psychiatrists and mental health professionals are more like teachers. They're going to teach you. Well, here's the science behind that. And then you can turn around and walk away and go, oh, I get it now. And too many people look at them like doctors, like they're going to head shrink you and you're going to go in and you're going to get all better. No. They're going to give you an insight from an objective perspective where they're going to teach you why people's brains do what people's brains do, why animal behaviors exist, basically. That's what we all are. And then once you have that key, that is where you get to start doing the work. Because you can't do the work until then, because you're so confused and you're so much in darkness and there's no light. And you get in a rut of going around and around and around and around and you cycle. And because it's unhealthy, you start to learn how to survive it. And as you're learning how to survive it, you notice how people act. I mean, that unfortunately is a narcissist's greatest strength, is that they learn how to hit those buttons and what things will get you to react. Knowing that I have a really huge soft spot for involved fathers since I have daddy issues, well, all of a sudden, turn on the charm. My dads, I still talk to one of my dads, the one that was between, not my dad's first wife, not my mom, but the one that came after that, before my sister's mom. Narcissism 101, okay? So that woman and I, we still talk occasionally, even now to this day. And, the things that she would describe to me helped me so much when I first got out of this relationship with Xavier, because I was like, oh my God, like, she was like, you feel so twisted in your head and you get so like caught up, but literally all they're doing is reading exactly what they need to be to get what they want from you. So she told me, she goes, your mom told me that your dad like never paid the only time he ever paid child support, because she came and went and then she was friends with my mom. Imagine, like, there's literally a support group out there for my dad. Like, there would be a group of women that could get together and have a support group just for dealing with my father. And so, but anyways, she said, your dad, never missed visitation and paid all his child support during the time we were together. Yep, that tracks. Because then I saw when my sister's mom came into the picture, I saw her one weekend and then I was gone for 6 months. He just quit. He didn't pay child support. He didn't want to see me. Nope, no more room for me. Until his wife couldn't have a baby. She had lost a baby and she just wanted kids so bad. So then it was like, oh, hey, I got one of those. Hey, hey, why don't you come back over here? You that kid of mine. Yeah. This one needs a kid. Come here. You know? And then she got pregnant with my sister finally. And then it was like, oh, no, we don't need you anymore. Go away. So when my mom died, my stepmom was literally like, I didn't sign on for this. This isn't my kid and I don't want this family. You know? So that was fun. Because they're both narcissists. They were both up individuals. That woman tried to kill both he and I. And I mean, wow, he really met his match with that one. But yeah, like, so anyways, I just think it's really funny that the things that I saw, happening were very much, that's what it was. It was all tailored to what would play on my heartstrings, what would allow me to, you know, like, see things from a perspective of he is good, he is, you know, kind, he is, so everything was like, you know, tailored to do exactly that, but it was all a lie. And I obviously made him work too hard at being good because he got bored with that real quick. It's much easier to manipulate people and try to get what you want out of them when you already know, when you're comfortable and you know how to make people react and it creates a safe zone for you. So whether, like I said, I say this all the time, I don't know if he's a narcissist or not. It could be that he's been in an environment so long that he has just learned these bad behaviors, but he was making no indication of trying to, you know, learn from his mistakes or try to build a healthier dynamic of any kind. Not with his wife, not with me, not with anyone, you know? So I can't imagine what kind of miserable existence that is, though.
Probably not a fun one, but... I
mean, it can't be. There can be no room for happiness when you are covered and shrouded in secrets and lies and only trying to get people. Because what if they don't? People are humans. Like, I mean, what if all of a sudden, what if they wake up one day and they're like, nah, that's not going to work with me anymore? All of a sudden, all your control is out the window and what you've created isn't real, so it's not going to be real. I heard that song. I heard Was Any of It Real on my way to the store this morning, and I was like, oh shit, I dropped my mic. Sorry, guys. But I was on my way this morning. And,
I dropped my mic.
Mic drop! But no, I was on my way and I heard Was Any of It Real? And I was like, wow. Because he sent me that song and he was indicating because he was having such a hard time because his marriage was in such shambles and she was so mean and abusive and whatnot. And he was hurting and he sent me that song and I had listened to it. Now listening to it, it's crazy how the flipping around to because if you ever want to know, narcissists will quietly tell you exactly what's really going on in their head. And they can't help themselves. So basically, I now know that like nothing that was going on between he and I was real. It was just, he spent a lot of years wanting to get a taste. And when the door opened and he knew that I was vulnerable enough, he took one. Like, that's what it was. And accepting that's all I am, well, that's been the hard part. That's been the hard part because there's so much I believe in the facade. So much that I believe that he was so good and whatever. But there's nobody that just like, when you're trying to exhibit healthy behaviors, just like, he didn't care that he was affecting my mental health. He didn't care that he was setting me off. He didn't care to do. I would tell him literally, this is what I need to have better communication. And I know I'm being, all the things I was being under trauma. And I would tell him, here's why I do that. I was literally giving him the narcissist playbook. Like, here's how you manipulate me because here's my issue. Yeah. Here's why I act that way. And here's what you can do so that we can be healthier so that, this would help me so that I'm not, losing control. Yeah. But so that I'm not losing control of myself. And then he'd turn around and do the exact opposite of what I'd ask, Send him an email and say, I think I'm going to fucking quit doing all content creation because I'm afraid you're fucking following me online. He goes and subscribes to me on YouTube. That is not somebody that is sitting there and going, I am so concerned about your well-being and love you so much and I'm stuck in this hell. Like, that is not what that is. That is, well, all I got to say is, here's what I do know for sure. You're lost, buddy. You're lost. You fucked up. And you'll never have the balls to fucking tell me I know that because I'm frightening. So there's no way that, and there's no way that a narcissist is ever going to be willing to completely own their shit. They will just flip it around and be like, oh yeah, well, you did this to me. You know, that's a great argument. I love when I was like, in all this time, I was open about everything I was going through. And this self-educated man could not Google CPTSD and look at the symptoms. I mean, I'm surprised. I wasn't even worth the level of research so he could better manipulate me in that manner. Imagine. He was so confident on being able to do it just based on what he thought he knew, despite me being gone for 7 years and growing and changing. And then he tells me, well, you're the expert. I was kind of just relying on you to tell me.
Bruh.
You're relying on the mentally ill, broken person to tell you how they're mentally ill and broken?
And then you did that too, by the way. I mean, you also did that though.
Yeah, I did do that.
So
I did do that. You're right.
So that argument is still like invalid to it.
Oh, telling him.
So it's double bad.
But telling him is what made him turn around and be like, oh shit, because I'm guessing he figured I was going to figure it out. Like that my behavior were symptoms. Oh, is the hedgehog dead?
The hedgehog's dead. He just gave me a look like, that's the sound you make, you asshole. I killed it.
Because it does that mouth squeaky noise?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. All right. Well, it's already almost 10 o'clock and we have done an hour-long stream, which means I just increased my editing by way more than I should have. But it's been a good talk. I love letting this shit out. It kind of ended up going in a way that it didn't. But I'm really excited about just reclaiming and re-owning my life. And the best way for me to do it, don't hold shit in, people. That's where shitty ideas come from. It's a true fact. And also, guys, I got to say this too, though. I've gotten to a point where I can almost make some light of some of the things. Nobody was going to see me. I mean, I have some streams that I did during my trauma phase. But I was so isolated and so reclusive, and the loneliness. That's what also kept me in bad relationships, is because I was already lonely and afraid of being alone. So being treated badly or poorly or disrespectfully was better than being alone, because being alone was too scary. And you guys aren't alone. Come and see me. Come on over to YouTube. Come on over to Facebook. Let's talk. Come on over and join the streams. You're not alone.
See me virtually.
See me virtually. Yeah, see me virtually. But seriously, I'm willing to talk about this shit anytime. I will tell anybody. Anybody wants to have a conversation. I mean, come and post it. Let's have a conversation. Because everybody that's gone through these kind of relationships, there are years and years and years of healing that comes afterwards. The only reason why I am so solid where I'm at right now is because his wife completely snapped me the last time that I reached out to them. I mean, her reaction was so very, she's gotten enough information that she thinks she knows what the fuck is going on, and I don't need to fucking worry about it, because whatever lies he's told, she's gonna believe him. Not my responsibility, not my problem. I'm not in the business of saving people anymore. Whatever lies he's told himself, well, he can sit and choke on them. He's, as far as I'm concerned, all I know is my goal is to get to a point where if he were to run into me somewhere, which is very slim to none chance, but if he tries to contact me or I run into him or something, I can just be like, oh, it's just another person. I don't know you. I don't know you. That's my purse. Hey, can you grab me a Monster out of the fridge?
I don't know you. That's my purse.
Oh my God, that's great. I can't wait. Is that gone? That's not on yet. King of the Hill isn't on yet, is it?
No, it's going to be August.
August, all right.
Got an August release. Gumball also is coming out October.
I still haven't even watched Phineas and Ferb. I'm sad at myself for that. I need to watch Phineas and Ferb. When SIMP meant something different. Squirrels in my pants. All right. Which also isn't really that great if you think about it. All right, chat. It is a beautiful day on the coast. Better. We got sunshine, the most fluffy clouds. I tried to take the GoPro out. It died, even though it said it had 4 hours left. It was like 44%. It was dead.
What happens with that damn thing?
Yep. So I got to charge the GoPro, but I think I might have gotten a few photos this morning because I wanted to try to get the sunrise on the bay. I am really just so excited. And I didn't get another monster. I'll take one of IG's. But I am just sorry. I'll buy you more. I am just so excited. I can't believe that we've hit 10,000 views over on YouTube. That's just unreal. Gunner's the big star though. So more Gunner is on the way, chat. And then for those people that want to find me and, you know, talk, why don't you go and talk? Come and say, I'm going to chapter it all out so people can have an easier way of finding the chapters and going to, because some people want to hear the good stuff that we have to say, but they're not ready to be triggered. They don't want to talk about narcissists. They don't want to talk about this Debbie Downy bullshit, whatever. That I understand. Yeah. I understand. So we're going to make sure that you're able to skip over it, but I can't tell you I'm not going to talk about it. I'm certainly not going to cater myself so that the whole world likes me. I just need to find the people who do like me just the way I am. So, chat, be good to yourself, take care of yourself, do something today that makes you feel valued for yourself because you deserve it. And I am going to go and work on some content, finish lighting up Daisy, and maybe we'll even be able to do a quick short stream off the beach tonight while we look at her under the starlight, waves crashing, and we see how she lights up. We'll see. I can't make promises yet. We'll see how the day goes.
It sounds so romantic.
Imagine I am going on a romantic date with my Jeep. Sounds about right.
That's yeah.
Yeah, sounds about right. Daisy's my bestest friend. Like yesterday, it was rainy and I was so I was getting so upset, and so was Gunner. Gunner and I were both upset, and we just wanted to just hang out with Daisy. So I went outside and I did her lighting, even though it was raining, because I wanted to be with Daisy, and I hadn't been with Daisy all day, but I've already had a good drive with Daisy this morning, and I'm having a great day, and we even have donuts for breakfast. I mean, and the sun is shining, and the birds are singing. The flowers are blooming.
Why do I hear boss music?
All right. Yikes. All right, chat. So I honestly don't know what tomorrow will bring. And we check in every day, even if it's just for a hot second. Today's stream already went longer than before, or the longer than I envisioned it. But thank you all for tuning in. Thank you to all the supporters over on YouTube. I really appreciate you. And I really have a hard time not saying take care of yourselves and each other, because that was my quote when I used to stream all the time. I used to always be take care of yourselves and each other. But I spent so much time taking care of other people that I just really can't say it anymore. We're going to have to come up with a new saying, Siren Squad, because I can't do it. I can't tell you to take care of other people. All I can tell you is be good to yourself. And we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye-bye.